All right, welcome everybody to this all new float together in a different time. A lot of you are, I think, weren't able to join previously, so I'm glad to see a bunch of new people here and a bunch of old people here. Welcome everybody.
Hey, who are
And
you calling old?
And for anybody who's doing this for the first time, what we usually do here is we're going to have we have a bit of a topic. Sometimes we talk about it, sometimes we veer off and go into the wilderness of topics or into the unknown space of whatever topic comes to mind, and that's okay as well. And we record this, and so later on, I usually post it so that people can listen and sort of float together later on. So, so yeah, and maybe we wanna do just for this new time and for the two times for the new time slot, maybe you want to kind of go through and say hi. If you want to, you don't have to. Just say hi and your
Hi.
name.
Sure.
Go for it. Who's going first?
I'm Pat. I've been doing float since I saw it in a beta test on Facebook. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Nice. I guess I'll jump in next. Nathan from Workrooms Community, and yeah, I've been floating for a while. We've been doing float together on Wednesdays quite frequently with Dorn, so really, really love it. And as Dorn mentioned earlier, the mandalas are one of my favorite places. So
Awesome. Anybody wants to go? All right.
Hi, I'm Jane from the UK, Birmingham, right in the middle. Just I haven't floated as much as I should recently, so I'm just getting back into it with you all.
Awesome. Hey, Jane.
nice.
Good to talk to you. All right. So if nobody else wants to go, that's absolutely fine. And
I can go.
go for it.
I'm Teresa from Maryland, and I've been floating for a while now, every now and then when I get a chance. And I'm slightly distracted at this exact moment because I just had my headset crash, and so I'm recovering. But it was not float that did it; it was something else. For the record, I'm trying to get into it. So we'll talk to you in a bit.
Cool. Cool. And
Amazing.
for anybody watching this, the what you're seeing now from that I'm casting from my float is mandalas that are made out of some of the Teresa's creations. She created fractals and we kind of put it in here to see what comes out of it, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I really like this. This is really neat.
All right, so let's go with for the topic today. I was thinking we could go with depth. Just depth,
Interesting.
whatever that means to you, whether it's depth of thought or um any sort of whatever connotation, whatever stories comes to your mind when you think of depth. Maybe I did some diving in my time, so that what kind of comes to me with that.
Nice.
One thing that I can share from my diving experiences, and which I'm sure you know, but if you haven't done it, it's just kind of stronger when you're in there, is that the deeper you go, the colors sort of start receding, and then in the end you're left with just blues, just shades of blue. So when you're like 30 meters down, you kind of lose, and that just, I think that kind of also speaks to depth in other, like as a metaphor in other ways.
That's interesting. I've never been diving, so I don't know, but that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing.
There's something when I go deep into my own thoughts, when I walk or just here and float or wherever, that has the same feeling of just the here and now is sort of more distracting and colorful, if you know what I mean. And when I'm deep in my own thoughts, there is this sense of something a lot slower and a lot more single colored. I don't know if you can kind of understand what I mean here. It's just a feeling that I'm trying to put into words.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to put that into words, but I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, mhm. When I think about depth too, like the thing that's interesting about float, and even just from our previous float together experiences, which reminds me, I'm actually just looking at your float on the screen, but I have the headset on, and I didn't start my own float, so I'm gonna go do that now. It's like I'm looking under the Quest Pro at your screen, and then I'm like, why am I not just enjoying floating myself? So it's a good example. Like you probably will even notice it as I start the float, the way I talk changes, and the way I'm thinking changes, because like I'm having a different experience now. And yeah, like I get slower and I get more thoughtful about it immediately. It feels like. I'm like sitting right now. There's like, actually, this is probably the first time I've had this experience in float that I'm having right now.
Nathan,
Yep.
I think
My audio
I think if you lower the volume of the headset a bit, I think it's interfering with your speech.
My bad. Sorry about that. I also think that I probably should switch off of my AirPods because they're not the greatest audio source. 1 second here. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, way better.
Okay, cool. My brain is like caught up in this tunnel that I'm in right now. So in flow right now, these like very whimsical sort of neon color circles, and they're all coming at me, and I'm sort of floating through the middle of it really slowly and relaxed. And yeah, it just changes the way I think about things. And when I think about the topic you're saying about deep, yeah, a lot of times I think there's just like this surface level conversation we're having, and something about float just kind of forces you deeper automatically, like because you're engaging your sensor, like more of your sensory experience. And like that's such an interesting feeling, especially for someone with ADHD like myself, who tends to be very distractible. I love having something in front of me that's actually like keeping my eyes engaged, keeping me engaged in a different way, so I can be more present, for the conversation. So.
Man, I wish I could get my wife to do a float. She has a motion sickness and will not get into VR at all.
Oh.
And I'm like, she's got ADHD as well, and I'd be like, this is it's gonna calm your brain, trust me. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting conversation. I don't know if we want to dig into that more now, but like, yeah, I just would say that there are a number of little techniques that you can do to avoid being feeling dizzy in VR. And if she was up for it, definitely I could send some links and we could have some conversations around that. But as you know, like when you're in something like float, you don't feel dizzy, like you don't feel the dizziness like you do when you're in something where you have to move around with the controller or something like that, where it tends to be a little bit more disorienting.
right.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
I
If
will.
you can get it all the way set up for her, like everything all set up, and just be like, if she was open to it, just like, okay, you don't have to do anything. Just here, put the headset on and float, and that's all you need to do. It would be really interesting to see her experience, because I know that, like for people with ADHD and neurodiversity, float has been really, really powerful. And I think it is something to do with that feeling of like how deep you be present, like the ability to be present and just like let everything else go and just be present in that moment. So
Mhm.
I think the strength of this for ADHD, I mean, there are a few levels for that. We don't have to go into all of it, but one of the things is just that it's there aren't very many, if at all, things that keep you interested without you having to do something. Like like if you what what's out there in terms of other than actual nature? What do you have that you actually don't have to do anything and it'll keep you interested? Um, I mean, there isn't very much that I can think of except, old TV, but that's just not the same thing, right?
Right. I mean, you can have your favorite shows, and that gives you comfort and everything, but it's a different type of feeling, I would say. You know?
Yeah, we call it or I call it partial distraction, where a TV show would distract you completely. Like that's its job, right? It wants to take you
Mhm.
away completely, and Float doesn't want to take you away completely. It just takes you away partially and leaves a part of you to think about whatever you need to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, also that it's not an escape really. It's more just like being more present. Um, like that's the thing that's kind of interesting. I guess it could be an escape. I mean, we've had some people talk about on the Float Together events, like that they like it because they come in here and they've had a long day, busy. I think this person worked at a hospital and was like busy making life altering decisions all day, and they just wanted to not make any decisions and just sit and float, and like that's powerful. But you're still present, like you're still here. It's not a complete, like Doran was saying, like you're not completely, like it's not like a movie where you get immersed in the whole storyline and you're not thinking about your own things. Like here you could actually sit, float, and still be present and think about what's important to you.
Um, I want to say something about ADHD and depth, just kind of connecting those two things. Um, because I feel like I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. I didn't understand ADHD until I sort of realized that I had it, and then I sort of started to look into it more, but from also my own experience. And there is a superpower that comes with it, at least the way I experience it, which is really being able to go very deep into things, almost sometimes, in fact, not having a choice. Like if something grabs me, I just need to go all the way, as like I just dive in. Um, a lot of the power, uh, you know, of doing things that succeeding in doing things that I'm really interested in, comes from that. But it also comes from with a struggle to sort of control the depth. And this is in the creative process. I did a lot of work on the creative of trying to decipher the creative process. Part of the thing that is really a key thing is sort of, if we were talking about diving earlier, is being in complete control over how deep I want to go, and then I want to go up again, sort of see things, more generally, maybe from the point of view of the person who's going to experience it, then dive back in again. Because when you have ADHD, sometimes you just immediately go all the way to the bottom of the ocean there, and you just stay there. It's not always good.
So true.
Speaking of the bottom of the ocean, I'm in biolumin. right now.
I think that's interesting what you were saying though, just this idea that there's a choice on the depth that you want to go. I'm seriously right now in Relax, and Doran, this is my first time in the new version, like the update, and I'm like seeing so many things that are unfamiliar, and it's amazing. Like just the color schemes, or like the types of ways color are being used, and then like some of the creatures I've never seen before is pretty amazing. Like, just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I think was it
mm,
was it you, Jane, who told me about that? We suddenly didn't have creatures in Relax, and then I realized I did a change at some point, and yeah, so I brought them back. So I think you're seeing it.
Oh, yeah, I just saw like this creature, and I mean this sounds like not as good as it probably as it looks, but like it almost looks like there's no head. It's like a just like a flat front of the creature, and it's like swimming towards me, and I was like, that is so interesting. Like it looks a little bit like a fish, but it's like got this flat front on it. And it's
Yeah.
very fascinating to see. Mhm.
Like a cone, right? That one.
Yeah, like yeah, you're trying to explain stuff in float is the most interesting thing, and I wonder if that's not part of how it benefits the brain, is that like you're forced to like try to understand this world around you, and in doing that, like potentially new neural pathways are being created, or like some sort of activation of the brain in different ways. Because like whenever I try to tell Doran something I saw, I'm like, I do not have the words for this. Like I don't know how to explain this object that I'm looking at right now.
It is very intentional, and it is definitely part of the way it works. By the way, anybody's looking at my screen right now, you'll see quite a rare creature. It might
Oh
be too
yeah,
dark actually, but
I can
there's
kind of
also
see
a
it
Oh
now.
snake.
yeah.
There is. So yes, it definitely is a conscious choice. In
Mhm.
fact, we did at some point, we started abstract because it was, frankly just easier. And then we
Mhm.
went like, okay, but the real goal is to make it like you're in a forest or something, something kind of really
Yeah.
here. And then we
Nice.
did that, and it was not as powerful. It was just like, oh, you know
Mm.
what? It's just trees, and they don't even look as good as trees in the real world. Whereas this actually kind of makes me think of memories and kind of brings up some weird things, but also, like you say, it's just on a neurological level, it forces me to it forces the brain to kind of all the time go like, what is this? What is this? It's working
Right.
hard all the time.
Yeah.
I am absolutely adoring what this did with my fractal. Like
That's
I know
amazing.
what the whole image looks like, and when it's set up like this, it's just amazing.
I'm so glad you like it.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, there were a few things that I wanted to say. But my ADHD brain just like, there are three things at once that I wanted to say, and then I forgot all of them at once as well. That's how it goes. Uh,
I keep trying to add to the conversation, but my brain keeps getting distracted.
Same.
by the
I'm like,
way,
hold on to this point, and then I just completely forget it.
And it's gone.
I keep trying not to turn it. I keep trying not to turn it into an infomercial about float, because I know Doran hates when it's like that. He just wants it to be a regular conversation, and I keep going. Float is amazing. Look at that.
yeah, I gotta admit, I was trying. I was like, okay, let's talk about ADHD and depth and stuff like that. I'm feeling like it's, but I appreciate that you guys want to talk about it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's
My
good.
thought on I would say
Oh, go
my
ahead,
thought
Doran.
on depth is subject depth versus breadth of knowledge. So you can
Mm.
know a lot of different subjects, or you can know a heck of a lot about one subject.
Mhm,
That
mhm.
always strikes me as an interesting fascination because, oh yeah, I want to know about this and I want to know about this and I want to know about this, but oh, to really know it, you have to go in depth and really look at all of the nuances and different pieces of things.
For
Ex-
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And one of the things that you find when you do that process is that uh, like the deeper you go, the more you discover that you don't know enough. So I remember when I started in animation, like on my first year, I thought I knew so much. On my 10th year, there's so much that I don't know. Like that was the feeling.
Mm,
So you do know,
yeah.
you do learn a lot more, but just the understanding of how much there is to know more is kind of faster than how fast you can learn stuff.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to say to everybody, and if you want to see what that looks like, you can look at my screen right now. If you want to have a better chance of focusing, especially if you're in somewhere other than relax, like in Imagine or something, you should go into the Tweak Experience menu and kind of simplify things, and it will just
Oh.
give less distraction.
Okay.
And actually, I will go to Imagine right now.
I'm in the black and white mandala now, and I'm like, I think I'm in it anyways. I'm in one of them anyways. This one's very black and white that I'm in anyways. It's really cool. I'm enjoying that.
Cool.
If it has a mix of beads and lace work, that's the fractal.
Okay, yeah, that's it. I'm in
Okay.
it. There's some color overlaid on this part of the one I'm in, and because I think I'm in the transition between worlds or something, but it is so cool.
Yeah, it'll start. By the way, I kind of made a mistake at some point where the black and white mandala was mixing with the color one, which was also very
Yeah,
cool. And
yeah,
I'll
that's
take
kind
that
of
back.
that's kind of what feels like it happened to me just now. It's like it was the black and white one, then the color one started merging, and then now I'm in the color one. It's very interesting.
I like
It's
it.
very cool.
I'll bring that
Very
back. I'll
smooth.
mix them. I'll mix them, but right now I just sort of wanted to keep them separated just for you guys to enjoy the real black and whiteness. Sorry, somebody was saying something, I think.
I just joined. Are we supposed to be in any? I just did the
Hey,
Imagine
Georgia.
and then something.
You can be anywhere. This is right now I'm in Imagine. I think other people are in Relax or somewhere else. At some point we'll add a feature that allows us to be together at the same place and even see each other and see each one,
Yeah.
maybe as little orbs or what have you. But
That'd be cool. Oh,
yeah, that
Are
would
you
be
a
cool.
creator of this?
Yes, I'm one of them.
Okay.
My
It's
Do you
cool.
know? Do you know? Doran comes to the workrooms community.
Wait, I can't hear.
Georgia, so you
I'm trying to
probably
listen to two things. What now?
okay. Sorry, I said Doran is comes to the workrooms community too. So you might have met Doran before in the workroom.
Okay, I might have seen him there. Yeah, I'll be able to join in Fridays once school is over, but I'm definitely looking for a job because I definitely. Okay, never mind. I'll tell you more, Nathan. I went John, I visited an amazing thing yesterday in Florida for a film studio. John Grass, John Grass is that his
Okay.
name? Anyways, oh my gosh, it was amazing. All right, I better get back to relaxing. Oh no, I'm imagining. I'm okay to be like this.
You're all right. You're with your people here, Georgia. We were just talking about ADHD and some
Hey,
of
look, a
the some of
squirrel.
the challenges and stuff right now. So it's all good. Yeah, you're
Okay,
gonna
thank
let Flo do a little bit of that scratching our brains that we need sometimes when we're relaxing as well.
Gonna get into the neuroscience of it, huh? Neurology.
Yeah, we were just talking about that a little bit about the idea of of kind of making the brain of the way float makes your brain try to figure out what it's seeing. one of the things that I wanted to say and forgot, now remember it again, is that I tried to use it as a pain management thing, which does work. And the reason it works, and I was sort of surprised that it worked on me, because you'd think, why would my brain be interested in it, right? Because I've created most of what's in here, and so I kind of know what's there. It looks different than every time, but I shouldn't be so surprised. But I can describe it this way: when I took the headset off, and the pain that I was feeling, I had a back injury, was kind of rushing back. I kind of realized what it was on a visceral level. So that as soon as I took it off, the staticness of the room that I was in was just so noticeable as compared to the constant movement and weird shapes of float. And I was like, wait a second, here's what's happening. When I'm in this room, my brain knows what everything is, and everything is also static. So it doesn't need to track anything in here. So it can spend all of its neurons on just, managing the pain or noticing it. But there is the fact that we're moving, and the fact that everything is strange and sort of like nothing here is clearly a TV or a chair or something we don't need to worry about. So just on a evolutionary level, the brain goes like, I need to track every single thing here all the time. And that really takes you away, even if you know the thing. Even if you've been here for hours and hours already, it still works on that level.
I wish I could hear. I'm trying to figure out how to adjust the volume so I can hear you better and the music less.
Yeah, so the way you do that, other than just you can use the volume on the headset, but you can also click the trigger, go into the pause menu, like so, and then you actually have you can actually turn down the music.
Oh wait, I just did something. That's so weird. Okay.
Live tech support.
Yeah, actually I bumped into it and now I see where the voice, don't want the music to go down. Okay, music.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't know what I bumped into on my headset. I mean, on my controllers to do that again.
Just the trigger on the controller.
Yep, there it is. Okay. There we go.
Oh, I've got some of the new shapes here that are more airy.
So you created all of these, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna try relax now and see how that works. How do I get out of here?
Trigger.
Main menu. Okay. All right, I'll do relax.
Yeah, relax, a good choice. And remember that in the same with the same trigger that you bumped into before, if you need more distraction or less distraction, you can go into the tweak menu, tweak experience menu, and you can change the complexity level. So bumping it up would,
I'm on the
yeah.
I'm on the free experience. That's locked.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that wouldn't work. But in that case, by the way, if you're on the free experience, just so you know, I opened it up temporarily. I opened Imagine up temporarily,
Okay.
and that's the only one that's open. So if you want to just float without it sort of exiting every 7 minutes or so,
Okay.
you can go into Imagine and just go into
So normally Imagine would be locked.
yeah.
You
Okay.
get like 5 minutes or something by default or something, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, it's not locked completely, but you can't float
Mhm.
forever
I'm gonna
But
try all 4 of them just for the fun of it.
Yeah,
Why not?
nice.
Go crazy.
So
Go
we picked a topic today, Georgia, deep, and so if you have any
Wait, the
thoughts
topic is
on
what? What'd you say?
deep or
Deep?
depth,
Okay.
you know, yeah, that kind of idea.
Okay. Deep
If you have any
thoughts.
thoughts on that, yeah, yeah.
Deep thoughts by Jack Handy. That was a Saturday Night Live thing. Sorry.
It's a good reference. I love it.
I miss those on Saturday Night Live.
Mhm.
It's always good.
I am good enough. I am smart enough.
We need deep thoughts and float now, Doran, like affirmations,
Yeah.
deep thoughts.
All right, so here's a deep thought. Off in the
Okay.
distance, float. I see something on the horizon and it's still faded, and I really want to know what it is. And I now experience anxiety for my float's going to end before I get there.
The existential crisis that the thing that
Yeah.
you want in the future is not going to get here before the float ends. I love it.
Yeah.
there is a bit of a every time I leave here, there is a bit of a, but what if there's something cool just about to happen?
Yeah, I can't leave just yet. There's something coming.
Yeah.
I'm live streaming just like the float experience itself because I can't live stream what we're talking about to the Facebook group, and so like I'm very curious if anybody's checking it out. I have no idea, so we'll see. But I'm just like I'm just going into random menus and like sharing the experience. I'm in Energize right now, so I was trying to like thought it would be fun to share that experience with people who can't join us, but I can't share the whole thing, so I guess I'll share the video at the end. But that's really cool.
Nice. That's cool. That's a good cool idea. Another thing out of the 3 things that I forgot before I came back, which
Okay.
which is we were talking about the importance of controlling how deep you go into things, and that ability, which for ADHD people, it's just that much harder to do. Because we love going into depth for the things that we love, and we like really don't like to go into depth for the things that we're not interested in. But it brought up so I was talking a lot when I was in animation and teaching students. I was talking about the power of this passion, because everybody is always talking about passion, right? The importance of passion, and it is important. But this passion is also important, like the ability to go, okay, as much as I love what I'm doing now, I need to put a distance between me and it, and be able to kind of approach it in a cool, common, collected sort of way. Like, I'm a professional now. I'm not in love with this. I'm just doing this. And that's a powerful thing as well.
Yeah.
I went back into Energize, and it
That's
reminds me
right.
of It totally reminds me of Star Tours, which
I
is
know. I was
perfect.
thinking today's like May the 4th be with you, and I'm just thinking of, you
Oh,
know, you said Star Tours. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
nice connection. I should have picked I'm realizing now that I should have said force as the topic today.
Yeah.
We can
still
switch
talk about force.
switch mid session on into force.
Hey, there are no rules here.
I'm sorry, Space Mountain.
What's that?
Space Mountain.
Oh, I remember Space Mountain.
Oh,
It's like this at the end. They like
Yep, pretty
do all
trippy.
this crazy tunnel stuff. And like, this is awesome.
yeah, energized tunnels are wild. Like some of you know this, I work sometimes in there. So I'll open up Energize and then I'll bring my computer screen up on top of it and remote display. And it's like the
Whoa.
music is upbeat and the tunnels are like giving me tunnel vision, and I just sit there working.
Really?
Just typing away, doing my stuff. Yeah, it's pretty
I
crazy.
think I'd be
Dude.
distracted in this. It's like trippy.
Yeah, a lot
Right?
of people feel that way, but my screen is actually right in front of the tunnel part, so I just see the colors going on the sides, and the music is really energizing as well. But yeah, sometimes I go into Imagine instead and do it that way. I think Doran shared a video or shared a photo a couple days ago about his morning practice where he pulls up Float and then does his like morning planning or journaling in there too.
I would need to wake up to this. If this was like one of my snooze, I would wake up.
Yeah. Yep. Just go to sleep with the headset on and then have this be your alarm.
I don't know if I could do that with the Pro, Nathan, can you?
Yeah. I know it's hard. You have to get like the pillows, you have to put one pillow on each side of the headset band,
Yeah.
and then just let the headset part sink into the space between the two. That's the best way to do it.
Buckwheat pillows will hold their shape. You can make a divot right
Oh
between.
yeah.
Oh.
So
They should
my
make
secret,
pillows for the Pro.
so my secret pet weapon
Yeah,
for,
with a little dent in it.
my secret weapon for lying down is the Bobo VR, which can actually,
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
that's an alternative strap that can actually fold sort of up. And
Yeah.
so when you fold it up, you can actually lean back and be in prone position, no problem.
I love this Bobo
That's
V.
cool.
I love this Bobo VR. It's just so nice. I love the ratchet system too.
Mhm.
Fits
My
well on a
Bobo VR
small head.
can't quite keep up with my Quest 3. It's got a noisy hum that starts up with a little fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about it last time.
Yeah.
I don't have that, so you might have a faulty set there.
Yeah, I might have. Well, I did pull it over from my Quest 2, so I imagine I didn't buy the Quest 3
Oh.
version.
That could be it.
Well, they were supposed to be compatible. Oh.
I gotta get a Quest 3 someday.
It's
I really like the resolution.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Less
I
foggy?
use the Quest Pro, but the Quest 3 clarity, like it's definitely really nice. My wife
Is
has
it
the
better
Quest
than the
3,
Pro?
so yeah. Yeah, I mean it's better quality wise, clarity and all that, and the depth sensor is better. But I miss the face tracking and the eye tracking though. So I prefer the Pro for those other reasons for social VR, but
Okay.
they don't have a lot of but Zuckerberg said that going forward, it sounds like the future headsets are going to have face tracking and eye tracking. I would assume they'll probably be default going forward because there's so many benefits, and I'm sure they're probably kicking themselves a little bit for not including in the Quest 3 because then they could do a lot of things that the Vision Pro can do, but they don't have the eye tracking and face tracking in that model. So.
Do you have the Vision Pro?
I do not.
Okay.
I wish I did. At some point I will get one, I'm sure. But a number of people in the Workrooms community do have it, and we've had lots of conversations about it.
Have you tried it?
I've been waiting for
No,
their
they don't
release.
have it in Paraguay.
I keep
Oh, sorry.
asking for educator discount, but they don't really seem invested in that.
Yeah. I say it has to get lighter. It's real. The headsets are all too heavy.
Yeah.
Just imagine
sure.
in 10
Across
years.
the board, they need to be.
Imagine
lighter.
in 5 years, 10 years,
I'm kind of hoping
Yeah.
for another year.
Yeah.
Hey, we developed new tech that suddenly it's really lightweight. In fact, here,
I think
just
it's going to happen.
contact lenses and you're good to go.
Yeah, contact lenses are going to be wilding. Like the idea, like I mean, at least for AR, they'll be really, really
Yeah.
fascinating. Like
Siri, turn off alarm.
They could also be annoying, like Siri, turn off the alarm. Like imagine you have contact lenses on and they come on, something comes on unexpectedly. You're driving the car, like
Yeah.
like a random monster shows up. Oh no! Bullet, yeah.
Right.
I'm just hoping they get more headsets in schools. That's what I'm kind of looking for a job.
Yeah.
But I don't know. there's a lot of people out there with a lot of money who could donate for headsets, but I don't know. I don't know how to. There was somebody who was like willing to hire me if he
Yeah.
could finally, if he could just get the funds for the headsets. I was
Right.
like, well, I can't help with that.
I mean, it's a big problem with XR and in general. It's just like that, you have to experience it in a way that like you get it, right? And a lot
I
of
know.
people, like a lot of people with the money necessary, like a lot of people with the funding and the backing aren't necessarily the ones who have like been able to experience it and get it, or just see like what, what a difference it makes. And I mean, honestly, I think it makes a lot of difference for people with less money, because like it allows you to transport yourself to places and do things that you can't do, which I think which gives a lot of value. On the education front, I saw a post yesterday, I think it was on LinkedIn, and there was a whole classroom of kids using the Quest 2, and they were using it for fitness, and they were doing, I don't know if it was
Yep.
Supernatural or what, but it was amazing. I think you posted on it, Georgia, maybe, or you
Yeah.
commented on it. And that's why I got my feed. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. Like, kids do not necessarily like exercise either, just like adults don't. It's like we have to put ourselves into it. But you give a kid a headset and Supernatural or Beat Saber or something, and they're going to be sweating, like they're going to be doing
Without
literally
realizing
like,
they're doing it. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
without even realizing it. It's like me in basketball, for example. Like if I get out playing basketball, I'm running for 3 hours and I'm sweating and I'm like, I'm getting exercise. If you ask me to go out and run for 3 hours, I would not do it. Like there's no way I'm going to go do that. But it's just like you find something that really engages you. My wife also has been using Fun Fitland, which is a free kind of almost similar to Supernatural in the App Lab. And like it just changes your experience, right? Like you find something like Float for your mind, you find something for fitness where you can move around, you find something maybe that you can connect with other people, and suddenly you've got social connections, you've got physical fitness, and then you've got this mentally engaging element. And it's like this one device is actually changing your world literally, like in a variety of different ways. So
I got rid of my second monitor for my computer.
yeah.
I
Mhm.
just jump into Immersed because I can get the multiple screens rolling and put my tasks across my, boy, I wish I had had that back when I was a full-time programmer.
Oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause you always need enough screen real estate. My
Yep.
latest thought is that the interface on the VR headset for the screen interfaces needs to allow you to have one very large, very wide monitor for all the audio engineers, because those digital
Oh,
audio workstations are a beast of a
yes,
software,
yes.
and you just
Yep.
always need more horizontal space than you can possibly have on a monitor.
Yeah. Actually, if you've seen anybody using the Vision Pro with this, it's pretty amazing, because
Yeah.
there's so many iPad apps that work with that are DAWs or digital samplers
Yeah.
and things like that,
Yeah.
and you can pull them all up as individual apps in your visual view, and so you can play around with all these different things together. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, the responsiveness and the latency needs to get a little bit lower on the screens,
Right.
to be able to do some of the stuff with video and audio. But I think that's really like what's so powerful about this medium in my mind is like, somebody could buy a headset for a totally different reason, and then suddenly they're opened up to these other opportunities, like Float, for example. I mean, like anybody, if their company starts getting people headsets for digital screens, like virtual displays, suddenly they've also given them a device that could be, help with their mental health, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think we're like half a step away from companies going like, here's a device for you. You can use it for for coming, because we're now doing meetings in VR. So here's the
Yeah.
device. We want you to join in VR. And it's gonna be used for wellness for you. And we have some wellness programs and refocusing programs. Something like
Uh-huh.
Float could help with many things like
Mhm.
that. And then you have yeah, and then you have
Mhm.
multiple monitors. So if the company needs to buy you a device, why not buy you a headset instead of like four monitors,
Right.
3 monitors?
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, at least it should be an option. At least I feel like it's going to be an option in the mix of things. Like, hey, you know, we're sending you your company laptop. Do you want a headset or do you want a monitor, right? Like, and then maybe
exactly,
like you said, in
exactly. And it's
the
one of
future,
the
it'll probably be more like committed, because like if the meetings are happening in VR, a monitor is not gonna, you know, it's not gonna get you there in the same way, right? So, and
Yeah, you
like
start
especially
having
global companies.
accessibility concerns when you talk about completely replacing the regular office.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
agree. I think it's going to
Mhm.
be an option. By the way, you guys should really go into Imagine. I've added some stuff and I'm really enjoying it actually. Sorry, I'm something, but
Yeah, it's good.
I added some art. If anybody is looking at my screen, I added some artwork just randomly
That's
appearing
cool.
in different places, and it's actually
Nice.
Nice.
When do we get advertising in Float? No, I'm just joking.
No, there will be no
Roblox
Never.
for
Sponsored by
Float.
Coke.
never ever.
Yeah.
Never.
Roblox just
No.
added like video ads in Roblox now. And I was when you showed that art piece on the wall, I was thinking about it. Like, imagine like you're floating by and you're like, oh, there's an ad for something. What's going on here? Yeah.
You have to be really careful with that kind of stuff, because like Float
Yeah.
puts your brain in a very calm, very relaxed
Yeah.
space. And if something comes through that says, hey, go buy this,
You're very vulnerable.
it'll stick in your subconscious where you're not
Mhm.
quite aware of it, which is really
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So this is recorded. I'm
we
going
need
to play this to some of our advertisers. No, I'm just kidding.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
we should delete that part from here, otherwise people will be trying to come fun float for totally different reasons.
Never ever
Okay.
on my shift will.
So you could
like
use
the-
that in a positive way as well then. So you could
yeah,
put something in like eat healthy, do exercise.
yeah.
This is personally for me, do exercise.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Like, you know what, paraliminals, I don't know if anybody's familiar with paraliminals, but, or paraliminals are like that kind of thing where there's like these embedded subconscious messages, or like even above, like even just conscious messages, like it's repeating these words over and over. Or you can actually, some of them with binaurals, they actually allow you to record your own voice saying your affirmations and then like play them back to yourself, because hearing them in your own voice is a different, you know, makes a different connection.
Yeah.
Now that you're both
That
saying
is-
this,
that
like
is
that's
something
amazing.
That is something that's on our roadmap to do. And
That'd be amazing.
in general affirmations, we were thinking about what can we do for spoken word in something
Yeah.
like Energize, and I think affirmation
Yeah.
would be very good for that one.
Yeah, but it would be, I really think it would be amazing to record your own and float through your own, you know, things too. Like if you've used Pillow, the Pillow app in VR, there's like a fishing pond that you fish into the ceiling.
Right.
And you basically catch these fish, and when you catch them, they have the voice of someone, you know, answering the question that you're fishing about, and then you hear other people's stories and stuff. It's really interesting. But like, I could imagine you have to go try it now that I said that, because it sounds really weird, but there's like essentially a pond on your ceiling, and they have a question they're asking, and when you fish into the pond, you catch a fish, and when you catch it, an audio recording plays, and that recording is like somebody else's answer to that question or story, and you get to hear the story, and then you can choose to like record your own and then put it into the pond for other people to catch and listen to. But like that kind of idea here, where like we could record an idea or a thought and then float through a world with our own affirmations, potentially, that could be really interesting. And what you said, I think it was Jane that said it, like this idea that like if I have a goal, like eat healthier or something like that, if I could pick a theme like that and then have it like I don't know if anybody's heard of My Thought Coach, but I think her website is just mythoughtcoach.com, but she has all these affirmations on different topics specific to what you want to be coached on, essentially. And then you just play the MP3, and it's like, I remember one that I used to listen to a lot because of my ADHD was like, I think like a person who gets things done or something like that. And it's like, I would listen to it because it would remind me about the types of things that people want, you know, when I want to get things done, the kind of things I need to do. And it wasn't from this perspective of like guilt and shame. It was from this perspective of like empowerment. And like paraliminals and those kind of things I've listened to like over the years many times. And sometimes the subconscious messages, it's kind of weird, like something that's like loud enough you can hear it, but you're not necessarily focused on it, or like maybe not even loud enough to hear it that you can hear it. The idea is that you can hear it in your subconscious, but the dealing sometimes if it's conscious and its volume is there and you hear it, you reject it because you're because you're like, no, I don't like that idea. But when it's just something in the background playing over and over again or something, it just gets into your way of being. Like all of us have experienced with music, right? Like there's a song we're singing and we don't even realize that the song we're singing has an impact on us, right? And we wake up thinking about it and we go to sleep with it on our mind or something.
I just had, while you were saying this, I had the most amazing experience right now in Float. I just like everything just aligned to create a picture, like a valley, and there's like a valley, and then all of a sudden there's like a tree and an artwork.
Oh,
All of a sudden there was a creature right inside the valley. It was just like, I couldn't
amazing.
have arranged it better.
It looks like a postcard.
Yeah. You guys, we're almost an hour in. Usually,
Amazing.
or many of the times, we're doing at the end of these, we were doing something called guided float that Nathan do. And Nathan, if you want to do another one of those, that would be great.
Sure.
Basically, it's just like a bit of a guided meditation thing in Float. I will say that this inspired the current Float Lab experience that you can see in Float Lab if you're on the paid version. We actually have something which is a guided meditation that is different every time and sort of speaks. It uses the visuals around you to actually do some mental exercises. So check it out if
That's
you
cool.
not right now because it has a voice there, but yeah, try it out. And I encourage you to go to Imagine for that, just so we're all kind of in a similar place, but you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. I opened Imagine as well just now, and just to share, like I actually haven't tried the new experience yet. Although Dorn has asked me a few times this week. I've been busy and I can't wait to try it. But the concept, I remember it coming about from these float together events, and we did a little 5-minute meditation or guided float where I tried to focus on like being abstract enough that anybody could follow the instructions, but use the float that they're experiencing in the moment. And Darwin was like, we can do this in float. So we know what they're going to be seeing and what they're going to be experiencing, but we could randomize it so that it feels different every time, but it's also engaged with what you're experiencing and what you're seeing. So I think it's going to be amazing just to experience that now after doing that. But I'd love to take you on a little guided float together now. If everybody wants to jump into Imagine, or if you prefer something else, feel free. We can try and see how it goes with doing it in something else too.
I am there.
Okay. If everybody, I don't know if, yeah, we can get everybody to chime in, just saying like when you feel like you're there and you're ready, and then we can start.
I'm good and ready.
Ready.
We can start again.
You can, if you want, you can start again, but if you're just already floating in Imagine on like infinity, then you're good anyways. You can just let it float if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it'll all be abstract for everyone anyways, because it's never the same thing twice. So even if we all started at the exact same time, we're not going to get the exact same experience. But I think I can make it work in most cases where it will give you something to work with. All right, I think everybody's there. So let's go ahead and start. And I usually suggest we just start out with a nice, deep, slow breath. So there's some research around that too. Like if you breathe in very slowly and deeply, and like when you breathe out very slow and deep as well. Which actually goes really well with our theme, by the way. So when you're ready, also just maybe try one more of those without me talking, and take a nice, slow, deep breath at your own pace. And you might even notice that the world kind of slows down, even though technically it probably didn't change speeds at all in float. You just kind of feel that feeling of slowness. And I want
So
you to start by.
we're in Imagine.
Oh, sorry, go. Yeah, if you can go and Imagine, that's great, Georgia. Sorry.
Infinity or Quick Fix?
Yeah, just go to infinity, so you're not cut off. You're good. Anybody else not there yet? Just so I don't want to start on you.
I had an ADHD moment. I had to go over to Horizon Worlds and go to Steel City for a second.
That's amazing.
I know. And
Don't
then
worry.
somebody had actually found a power core and was like going around the city looking for me, and I wasn't there to get it.
All right. Well, you're here now. And
I know. Now I'm relaxed.
Let's start again with the relaxing. And I
Okay,
actually don't think it's a bad thing for us to start with another deep breath again, since we get a do-over on the deep breath. So when you're ready, let's do that again. Just one nice long deep breath if you want. Maybe just notice as the world comes towards you. In most cases in float, you'll see it come towards you as you're breathing, and try to breathe at that pace, because it's very slow too. And breathe out again if you haven't already. Don't hold until I say so. And now I want you to sort of pick an object way off in the distance, like Teresa was talking about earlier, and just watch it coming towards you. And notice how that might or might not change your experience of floating. Do you have some of that anxiety about, like, I want this thing to get here faster? Or can you just sit in the moment and enjoy the journey to get to it? And this is a little philosophical question for you. Is it floating towards you, or are you floating towards it right now? If that object already reached where you are, feel free to start to expand your vision into the whole space. See if you can take it all in at once. Not focused on any one object, just sort of expanding your vision. And see how that changes the experience. If, like me, you're actually in sort of a crevice looking out into a bigger space, it's such an impressive view. Something might be blocking your ability to take in the whole space, and that's okay. Just notice how you feel about that. I think sometimes that's the important part, is like noticing that our feelings are changing the experience. And why don't we do a little experiment looking up just a little bit into the sky, into the clouds, noticing as things are above us that we might not have even seen before if we weren't looking up that way. And then you can kind of slowly tilt down and look below you, and notice how often when you look down, everything feels to be moving faster, but not necessarily the same when you were looking up. It's interesting. Now I'm going to give you some freedom to just look wherever you'd like to look. It might be to your left or to your right, or just straight ahead. And you can maybe take another deep breath here. And now I'm going to ask you to make a judgment call. What's your favorite thing that you're currently seeing in the space? See if you can decide on what it is that you're seeing that's your favorite. You don't just hold on to that. Maybe we can talk about it at the end. You don't need to say anything about it or feel any different feelings about it now, but just you can hold on to it. We can talk about it. And now when you're ready, we'll try something interesting. Something in your life that maybe has been a bit of a struggle or a challenge or creating anxiety for you. If you'd like to, you can pick an object that you're looking at right now and place that thing on the object. You know, technically you're just sort of like visualizing it there. And then as it floats past you, just turn slowly and watch it float away off into the distance. We don't have to talk about this one later, by the way. And just watch it float. You can wave bye-bye if you want. Bye-bye. See you later. And if you wait long enough, you might just see it disappear off into the distance. And when you're ready, we can turn back around and just sit for a moment and do whatever you'd like to do. Thank you for floating with me, or for us, with us, floating together.
Thank you, Nathan. Awesome.
You're welcome.
As always. And just there are so many things that you're saying in these guided floats that that really speaks to me on a level that I can. Somebody has the music quite up. Maybe
So that might be me.
a little bit. But
Okay, I loved it. Mhm.
yeah, a lot of what you're saying. First of all, thank you for slowing us down like that. I mean, it's very powerful. You know, the whole thing of changing the focus, for example, we were talking about that before, dispassion and, you know, depth and all of that, going back to that. Just I think as an exercise that you can use float for, like if you do this regularly, just focus on one object and then slowly, with a lot of control, move the focus away, take the whole thing in, and then slowly, gradually again, move to another object and really focus on that. Just having that amount of control, and even sort of telling your brain, you can focus, you can choose how much to focus on a thing, on a thought, on a problem, on a what have you. That's a very powerful tool for us in life. Because oftentimes a lot of the, you know, anxiety that we feel, you know, depression, other things like that, just come from a really a difficulty of just looking away or taking a step back and looking at life at a much bigger context, you know, beyond the moment, beyond that day or that week, but just kind of what is the story of my life, and what is, you know, does it really matter, this one thing that happened 5 minutes ago? But just being able to focus away from that is very powerful. So you can use that as almost a metaphor for that.
I think Nathan's meditation there needs to be added as one of the guided pieces. That was really, really well done.
That was really good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Nathan is awesome, and it has been that. So that's what I was saying before.
Yeah.
It's not in Nathan's voice. We want to get there as well, but you know, Nathan is a guy who's building a company, all that stuff. So one day he's going to do it.
It just means you got lots of extra.
But meanwhile, we did a similar thing with our own, you know.
Yeah, I can't wait to try it out. So I appreciate everybody's comments. It's amazing. I mean, I love doing this, and I used to do a lot of this kind of thing in the park with people real time, you know, hosting meditation and trying to use the environment we're in to like help people engage with themselves, because like in a busy park, for example, there's dogs running around, there's people talking that you don't, there's noises like motorbikes driving past or people honking horns. And a lot of times people would feel like these things would take them out of the experience and they would kind of like be frustrated. And so I started using that as an avenue to help them with the meditation, with the guide, like being able to be guided through how to experience those things. And it was super fascinating to see how people were like, oh my God, I think I meditated better in this busy, annoying like park where people are coming and going and sounds are happening than in like a isolated, quiet space because of the way we approached it, right? And I think that philosophy is so like closely connected to the way float works, because everything is so abstract. You can't be like prepared, like in a lot of other apps, like you'll go and do XYZ meditation and the sequence of events is exactly the same every time. And so like you kind of get used to it, what's coming next, you get familiar with it. And so you kind of have this rhythm. But in float, you don't have that option. Like you get it, it's different every time. There's familiarity, just enough to be comfortable, but not so much to like get into a rhythm where you can just tune it out, right? And I really tried to bring that same element to the way we did the Float Together experience, and I'm excited to try what Doran's been working on, because I think like I did actually record a couple things, but my problem is I don't have a good enough situation with a mic and a studio to do it. So one of these days I will do that so we can maybe use my actual voice in this stuff. But like I love that the concept was brought into it, and I can't wait to try it. And I think the concept really will be helpful just in general, because we've got this ability to see abstract things, and sometimes like a voice guided meditation that's just like one straight line along with something that's not a straight line, it doesn't work the same way as if there's like some dynamic element to it. So connecting those dots is going to be really, really, really amazing for Float as it continues to work on those things. So but what I tried to do today when I was just thinking about it was like, as objects are coming, like I don't even know what you're seeing, like I have no clue, but yet each of you kind of were like, wow, I like that experience. And that's what's so cool of a Float, is like I know generally what you're going to experience, and so I can use those general things. But I think the built-in Float will be even better, because it knows more of what you're actually seeing, and so those things will be more connected to what you're actually seeing.
Yeah, it knows that it knows that you're going through through a canyon, for example. So
Right.
we actually use that and sort of use that space for the speech, but or for the guidance. But then in other places where you're out in the open, we use that, but it still doesn't know exactly what you're going to see, because it is
Right.
every time. And so on that level, it still has that dynamicness to it.
That's cool. Very cool.
Okay, well,
Does anybody want to share their favorite things that they saw in that moment, if you remember still? I'm just curious to see.
I can share mine, but I wanted to give somebody else the chance.
There was one floating box that it was just like felt like me. I don't know. So I just kept.
Oh, that's cool.
That's nice.
It was just like I just kept watching it, and like as you said, that watch it go away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was trying to make my anxiety go away.
Nice.
Felt like me, just like kind of distancing myself from it. So thank you for that.
That's awesome. You're welcome. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing too.
For sure.
Yeah. If you're comfortable sharing the thing that the thing that you didn't like, or the thing you wanted to let go, like you're talking about, I think that's amazing. Like I was trying not to go to that space because I didn't want people to have to feel like they're sharing these more difficult emotions. But if we're open to that, it's amazing, because I definitely think letting go of anxiety could be used. And like even if I'm not there, use Float in that way. Like when an object's floating towards you, you can turn around and let those things float, or just even do a backwards float. Like Doran can tell you a little bit about how to do that. But with the way the B button works on Float, you can change or recenter it, right? I think it's the B button, that you can turn around backwards and push the button. If you don't have to turn around backwards necessarily, you could turn around for a second, click the button, and then you'll be going backwards, right? So
right.
Mhm.
It is the best interface for rearranging your point of view perspective in any app I've
Yes.
seen.
Mhm.
Right?
Agreed.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, the Oculus button is annoying. Like I don't really prefer that in most situations because it's too much centered around what the Quest wants to do as opposed to what you want to do in the app, right? It's really cool.
Yeah, when you ask what's the favorite thing that you're seeing, it
Mhm.
was like the timing was just that there was a completely new like a one of the new things that I put in there and it was kind of glowing. I was like
Oh, that's cool.
I almost felt like that moment was that choice was taken away from me because obviously
It's like there's no choice. This is the favorite thing. It has
yeah,
to be.
this has to be the favorite thing. But
That's cool.
but I did place my I have a bit of a thing with sweet, a sweet tooth,
Oh.
and I was
Mhm.
which I always struggle with my whole life. And so I was kind of like, yeah, I'll put that over here. Maybe those sweet things don't have that power on me. I'll put them on the rock.
That's cool.
Wait.
Amazing.
Or the want. I'll put the want on the stone and let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, in like in mindfulness, like we kind of refer to that as striving, that whole striving thing. And like sometimes you can be striving for something that you want, but sometimes you're striving, after something that you don't want because you want a life without that, that struggle or without that thing. And so I think, striving is a big part of mindfulness and meditation is like it's beginning to let go of the things that you're striving for. Like for me, I think I basically did something similar. I thought like money has been a tough thing for me, over the last couple of years. Like I've been spending it, investing it in a project idea, and I haven't necessarily been getting as much of it coming in. And I just realized something similar to what you're feeling, Doran, is like, I mean, I've realized it many times over the last couple of years, but just in that moment, I put that, need for that, on the rock and just let it float away. And when I said bye-bye, that's what I was, saying bye to, because it's like, that is unnecessary. Like, it doesn't help me to be anxious about those things or feel that way. And so, yeah, very much in the same way, that striving for something, like there's productive feelings and effort around, bringing money in, but there's also this negative energy that is around like anxiety around it and stress. And we heard Georgia talking about it a little bit earlier today too, like wanting to get a job, like wanting a job or wanting money and wanting these kind of things. There's a lot of things tied up in our identity around it, right? Like if we're and fear about like the future and all these things. And so there's so much there that we could let go of that would probably bring the intensity down and allow us to just be more present. As my coach would say, like needy is creepy. Like when you're, when you're in not in a disrespectful way to people who are in need, but more in like when you're trying to like pitch yourself or pitch your ideas or project and things like that. If you come across too needy, like people react weird to it, right? And so you need to be kind of more present, more present with yourself, so that you don't bring all that anxiety to the conversation, right?
That's a really strong point. That's a really strong point. All right. Well, that was a cool conversation. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope you did as well. It went deep.
I was waiting for it.
Of course.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
What's
That
that?
was really
Thank
nice.
you very much.
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
And
Yeah, thank you.
when you're talking about the anxiety about the job, that's definitely me. I have 2 months to find a job.
Mhm.
So
I
I'm trying to
just found one.
really.
Yay.
nice. Yeah.
It took me about 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, I only have 2 months until I run out of money and I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I'm getting a little worried.
Yeah, I think Nathan's advice was good. If
Huh?
trust the universe, trust the universe. Well,
I'm reaching out to everybody I can on LinkedIn
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
really
I mean, trust the process and also like put the work in. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like I also feel the same way. It's taken me longer than even 6 months to get to a place where I feel like the things that I was working on are working now. And, it's only a matter of time before, I'm back to where I want to be. But, I know like George was saying, you don't always have all that time, and you gotta, like, it feels very scary when you see
Gotta hustle.
the runway, the runway, like, disappearing, in front of you before you feel like you're taking off, to fly. So,
Yeah, the runway's starting to end. I can
yeah,
see the end of
mhm.
it, but I'm still going like 100 miles an hour, and I'm like, no.
Yep. I mean, sometimes you got to
So I
trust
don't
the
know.
process, but yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I can sympathize, but yeah, trust the process, trust the universe, and just by quieting down the anxiety as much as possible, and I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Thanks,
good luck.
everyone. This has been great. Thanks for changing the time, Doran. This is like interesting to have so many people, and yeah, it'd be cool to see how we do more of these in the future and the timing. So
Yeah. Yeah, hope to float again with all of you and with more people
Yeah.
as well. And
Sounds good.
thank you very much,
Thank you,
guys.
and thank you for changing the time.
Yeah.
Have a good,
Float
good
on.
Hold on, guys. Bye-bye.
Everybody have a great weekend.
Have a
Take
All right,
care.
great
thanks.
too.
All right,
You
bye-bye.
too.
We'll see ya.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.